Yo, what's good? I'm gonna let people come on real quick. I wanna let you guys know a few things. So earlier today, I posted a status and I said people will wait in line for 2 hours for a pair of shoes, $200 pair of shoes at that. But they won't spend 30 minutes on YouTube, right? To find out how to buy a house with no money down or whatever. So some people messaged me and then I was like, let me just make a video about this. And so first off, why real estate, right? Real estate is probably one of the most powerful things on the planet, if not the most powerful thing on the planet. And I'm gonna tell you why. Because we all need somewhere to live, right? We all need somewhere to live, no matter who you are, no matter where you at. It's people, real life, making houses out of mud, right? In these third world countries and stuff. So real estate is always going to be here. And God ain't making no more land. No more land is being made. So real estate is powerful and it's important. So it's so important because if you buy one house, and let's say you pay it down for 3.5 years. Let's say you get in a bind and you sell that one house at that time after 3 or 4 years after owning the house, you could probably cash out and but have a check of, let's just say maybe 25,000 or something like that. Not a lot of people get a check for $25,000 at one time, right? And so real estate is about wealth. And then when else can you buy something and then every single month you make money all because people are living? Like I've had rental properties, right? I made money every single month because other people were existing. Like how crazy is that? Think about that. People are making money every single month because other people have a job, they need somewhere to stay. So real estate is important and it's about ownership. If you rent a house out, right? I want to paint a picture for you. You rent a house out. Let's say the landlord, the owner of that house, comes up to you and says, hey, we have to do this. We have to sell this house because of this, and the house is going to get cut down, and they're going to build a whole new house or an apartment or something like that. If you're the tenant, you can't say shit. You know why? Because you don't own it. Because you don't own that house, you have no say-so on what goes on. And that's why real estate is so powerful. That's why it's so powerful, and it's about ownership. But if you own that house, then you won't be in that situation. And so you have the conventional way of thinking, and then you have the unconventional way of thinking. And the unconventional way always wins. The unconventional way of thinking always wins. So the conventional way of thinking, people are going to tell you, hey, go get a job and save up your whole life savings, save up for 10 years, and then go put that whole savings, right, into this house. See, you've been fooled if you believe that that's the way to acquire a property. There's so many other ways to acquire a property, and those ways are the unconventional ways. You do not need a bank. You do not need a bank to buy a house. But you've been fooled, and people have made you think that you do, right? You do need a bank to go get a house. So I'm going to tell you one way how you could go acquire a piece of property and make some money from it with having a credit score of 400 or with having a credit score of 700. 750 doesn't matter. So what you do is, maybe you've seen a house in your neighborhood, in your city or whatever, and you've seen your house, you've seen a house and it's been messed up, it's been beat up, it's vacant. So you want to find the owner of that house. You find the owner of that house. And then what you do is you contact the owner and you kind of see if they want to sell it, right? Don't worry about anything else yet. Find out if the owner wants to sell it. And it's in your best interest to get them to want to sell it. If they don't want to, that's fine. Find somebody who really, really, really wants to sell. Excuse me. And then what you're going to do is you're going to come to an agreement with that person, with that owner, of of the price, right? But in the area, you want to kind of make sure that properties in that area are selling, right? And you want to make sure that they're selling higher than what you're going to buy it for. You're going to be the middleman in this situation. So then once you have an agreement with the seller, the owner of this property, you write a contract, right? A standard purchase and sales agreement. That's it. A standard purchase and sales agreement. You have an agreement. So now you're under contract with this one person. So let's say in Georgia, you could get a house real cheap out here. Let's just say $50,000. So I have a property under contract for $50,000 with a seller. So what am I going to do? I now have equitable interest in this property, which means that I can market this piece of paper, right? So I go to maybe some other investors or something like that, and I say, hey, I have this house. It's worth $100,000 right now. If you fix it up, it may be worth $140,000 or $130,000, whatever the numbers are. You show them, and then you say, hey, it needs $20,000 in work. They say, I want to buy it. How much you want to sell it for? So if you have it under contract for $50,000 and it needs $20,000 in work, that's $70,000. So you want to make sure that the person you're selling it to has a big enough spread in there that they're going to make money as well. So you may say, I'll sell it to you for $77,000 or something like that, $75,000 or whatever. And they say, okay, I want it. So you just connected these two dots, right? 50,000, and they're gonna buy for 77,000. It's gonna take so it's gonna take 20,000 to work. So you guys close, right? You go to a attorney, a title company. You close on the property, right? You close on the property, and you make 5,000, you make 7,000, or whatever that spread is in the middle. That's one way. That's just one way of acquiring a property. Now you just wholesaled a piece of property in the United States. You didn't use your money. You didn't use your credit. You may have needed to use your energy or whatever. Now there's a lot of people, they do this as a business. They do nothing but this. They have a marketing budget. They find people who want to sell their house. They get contracts. They have relationships with other people who want to buy these houses because they're investors. And they buy it. They get in a contract and they sell it. They do it over and over and over again, right? You can do this as well. Let me tell you another way that you can acquire a property. What you can do is there's something called private lenders. Maybe you heard of them, maybe not. And also hard money lenders. So on one house, my very first house I got is for an investment. Purchased it. So I found it on Craigslist. I called the guy, and then when I realized I wanted to buy it, I called a company, right? It wasn't a bank. It was a company, and what this company does is they lend on real estate deals. So I got it at a very steep discount because it needed a lot of work. And with this property, since it was a good deal, they was willing to put the money up. All right. So then what they did was they asked me for my LLC paperwork, my operating agreements and stuff like this. And then, what's up, Mike? He said, I hope you saved this. Yeah, it's going to be saved. Yeah, so then I gave them all my paperwork. They saw it was an entity, a legal entity. I had an EIN number. And then 7 days later, we closed on the property. I didn't use a bank. I didn't get my credit ran or none of that. You can do this too. Now, this is for investing. But here's the thing. So many people in America think that if they buy a house, that's the American dream. Me personally, this is what I learned, but I don't get caught up in I want to buy this house and no, I want money coming in. From now, 5 years from now, whatever. If you purchase a house and you get a standard mortgage from Wells Fargo or whatever institution, lending institution, you have to pay something called a mortgage. And if you are working at whatever job, every single month that you pay that mortgage, that's money coming out of your pocket. That's called a liability because there's no money coming in. But let's say you have a job, you're living wherever you're living. Let's just say you're paying rent. You buy an investment property. Instead of buying the house to live in, you buy an investment property, and that investment property is paying you, let's just say $400 net income, not gross, net. Net income is the amount of money that you have take home after all the expenses are paid. So let's say you have one house bring you $400 net, and you're renting, where you're living at, you're renting it out. Let's say you get 4 of these. 400, 800, 1200, 1600 net. So let's say you get up to $1,600 in net income. And then you go buy the house that you want to live in. Now that rental income, that $1,600 a month in income is going to be able to pay off your mortgage of the house that you go and live in. So that way, the money that you were making from your job, it actually got put to better use investing as opposed to just buying a house and then paying that mortgage, and now you're not getting ahead in life. This is what they call the rat race. You make money, you save up, you get a house, you get a promotion, and then you buy a bigger house or you buy a bigger car, you buy a better car, whatever. One thing I learned, don't get so caught up in what it looks like. Nobody really cares about that stuff. Quit worrying about what it looks like to other people. Right now in America, there's somebody living in a 1-bedroom apartment paying $600 a month, but they have a business that they're building that's going to be worth $5 million in the next 3 to 4 years. It's not about what it looks like. We all want a nice house. I get it. But what I would rather live in a 1-bedroom apartment and have 2 or 3 rental properties and have money coming in and not be worried. And when you purchase a home, you're bound to that home, right? Like, you have to kind of control that home all the time, even if you're renting it out or not. But if you are renting the home out, you're a tenant, and then you have rental properties, you can hire a property management company to manage those properties, and then you could go wherever you want. It's all about how you think about things. Literally, that's it. And what about this? People like materialistic stuff. I get it, I understand. But let's say you invest your money over time, right? Over time. Let's say in real estate. And then one day you find a building, and it's like a commercial building. And then what you can do is, if you have enough money and you've been investing a long enough time, you could buy that that commercial building. And what can you do? You could rent it out to somebody who wants to start their own shoe store. And then you could be getting those shoes for free as opposed to paying for them. Like, it's all a mindset, how you think about things. It's the difference between being a consumer and being a producer. Consumers are all they're worried about is spending. A producer is someone who produces, creates, and then they make money off of the things that they've created, right? And then the money that they get, they invest it back into their mind, their future, real estate, etc. And I'm so big on real estate because you could go to whatever investment you have, you could go to that right now because it's tangible. You could see it. If you want to put granite countertops in your investment property, you can do that. It's tangible. I don't know much about stocks. I can't tell you that. But with real estate, I know real estate. And every single person, if you don't own real estate before you're 30, if you haven't it's too easy to go buy a house right now. Literally. So here's one thing you could do right now. You can get on Google and go to meetup.com and type in real estate investment groups or real estate investing groups near me. At least 2 to 3 are going to pop up. And go to a meetup this week or next week. If you're in a metropolitan city, a major city, there's going to be tons of these meetings. And that way, you'll be able to be around the people who are doing it. Every single market, every city in America, there's people making money through real estate. People are going to say, I'm in California, the houses are too expensive. You just have to adapt to your market. You just have to adapt to how and see how people are doing things in that city, in that market. But don't sit up here and say that I can't get into real estate because I'm in California. And if you know somebody in Kansas or whatever, then find a way to invest over there. But at the end of the day, it's all about your priorities. You're going to find out a way to make whatever happen that you want to make happen. So if you really want to buy property, if you really want to invest in real estate, get a rental property, you're going to figure out a way to make it happen regardless. So that's not even an excuse. Excuses are bullshit. You literally can do this. There's people, I know somebody right now just bought a house for $15,000. He's in Ohio. He bought a house for $15,000. He put $7,000 worth of upgrades in the house. And then, Kenneth, what up? He put $7,000 worth of upgrades in the house. And then he's renting it out for $1,000. So he's all in for $22,000 and he's renting that house out for $1,000. So he's going to get his return back in a couple years. Now, what if you did that 5 times? You don't need a lot to retire. You really don't. But you need a lot of knowledge to figure out how to make it happen. And that's why I did this live video, because it's all about ownership. Ownership on your life, on your decisions, on your thinking, on your time. You can literally make this happen. Kara, go, you in the Georgia somewhere, man, go figure out. It's cheap. And if you anywhere in these southern states, you could make a killing. If you have, let's just say you have like $15,000 in your savings account or whatever. If you're in the South and properties are so cheap, like $30,000, man, a down payment on a rental property, and let's say it doesn't need any work, you could put $10,000 down on something and then you can be renting out for 800 or something like that. Literally. Like, don't think that real estate is just too big that you can't invest in it. Don't think that real estate is just this monstrous thing and you can't make it happen. You can. All you have to do is just make it happen. What'd you say? Made 20K on one and 44. Exactly. It's not that hard. And can't you? He in the military. If he's in the military and he's done this, why can't you? Real estate is the fast track to real wealth. Jacksonville is going through gentrification, so it's pretty high here. When you say pretty high, what do you mean? Let me know what you mean. Do you mean the prices or what? Because if it's going through gentrification, then, I mean, you could make a killing out there. Because Atlanta's going through gentrification right now, the West End. Like, the West End used to be the hood, but it got turned around. So what that means is there's a market and there's opportunity for people to really come up. That means property values are skyrocketing. If you find one house for a good price, you could wholesale it to another investor. You could make a quick $10,000, $15,000. The prices and the availability. Bingo. So if the availability is high and the prices are high, all you have to do is find a couple houses at a discount and sell it to an investor at another discount and go and make some money. I promise you, people are doing this every single day. Right now in America, tomorrow morning, somebody's going to be closing on a real estate transaction and they're going to net $25,000. They're going to net $20,000, $8,000. What if you made $8,000 2 times a month? That's $16,000. That's 6 figures a year off of 24 transactions in a year. Now, I'm not sitting here saying that it's super easy, but what I am saying is this is a possibility. This is entrepreneurship. Like, a rental property, it can save your life. A rental property can save your life. And when I say that, if you're netting $300 a month in rental income, that can really help you with whatever bills. Like, real estate is like a big savings account. When you buy one house, let's say you buy it for $30,000. You buy a house for $30,000 and then you put $10,000 worth of upgrades in it, and the house is now worth, all right, Ken, and the house is now worth $50,000. And you know that. So that means that you have this house. It's a big savings account. At any given time, you could sell this house for $50,000 minimum. And what that means is if you're all in for 40, that's $10,000 in net income. I mean, in net profit. So any given time you can sell this house if you get in a bind. Like, this is real estate. Real estate is real. I know somebody right now, his credit score is messed up, but he just bought a house for $300 and some thousand. He's going to fix it up for $200,000 and he's going to sell it for $750. That's a big, like, it's out here. All you have to do, let me tell you what you have to do. Apply yourself. You have to apply yourself. You have to soak up the knowledge and you have to make it happen. I'm going to give you guys an example. I had these car magnets on this car. I was driving. I was at the gas station. So this guy says, I'm going to answer this question right now. Hold on 1 second. A guy says, you buy houses? Because the car magnet I had, it said I buy houses with a key and then my number. I said, yeah. He said, I have a house over here in Riverdale. I want to do this. I want to sell it. I said, cool. You know, what's the address? I went to the address on Zillow and I did some research. I called him and I said, I can do $18,000. It was a 2-bedroom, 1 bath. He was like, okay, wrote a contract. And then I found somebody who was going to buy it for $25,000. They ended up buying it for $22,000, and then I made $4,000, right? That's it. So, Carrie, you said, so today, what does a person need to hit the ground running? Go to a real estate investors meetup, RIA. They have things called RIA, Real Estate Investors Association, right? They have RIAs. Those are like once a month. And you could just hop on Craigslist tonight and look up houses look up houses for sale, right? And then like just figure out, just look at them. If they're really, really messed up, what you want to do is you want to see how much the person wants. And then you want to look at, they call them comps, comparables. Look at the houses in that area that are selling, right? And that are fixed up. So you want to look at the ARV, which is the after repair value. So it's a game. Buy low, sell high. Literally, that's it. So you want to get it at its lowest price. You want to make sure that the ARV, the after repair value, is high enough to the point where you can, add $3,000, $4,000 to your asking price. And then after that, you'll be good to go. So the way you do the ARV is write this down really quick. So whatever your ARV is, write ARV equals, and then you're going to do 0.65. So it goes, your lender, it's a whole bunch, it's a whole bunch. But look, so if somebody is going to buy a property from you and they're an investor, they only want 65%. They want that price to be at 65% of your ARV, right? Of the ARV. So if a house is worth $100,000, the most they're going to want to buy it for is at $65,000, right? So you want to just know your numbers. But to answer your question, Kira, just go to these meetups and start getting around the people who are actually doing it. And then you're going to start catching momentum. April, you said, so how do you find investors? Most houses for 30K, I find it more than 10K of work. That's correct. I must be doing something wrong. How do you count a contractor? I was just giving numbers. Like, I'm not saying that, all the houses for 30,000 are only going to be, 10,000 in work. No, not at all. But that was just an example. But how do you find investors? All you have to do is go to investor meetups. Meetups.com and, real estate investing meetings. And there will be a whole bunch of meetings that you can go to. But also, just start telling people you're an investor. Start speaking it into existence. And then you're going to start seeing that when you start speaking that, you're going to start coming into contact with people who are real estate investors. And then when you come in contact with people who are real estate investors, you're going to start having those conversations about real estate, right? And then when you start having those conversations about real estate, what's going to happen is you're going to start getting into the sauce. The way I got started was when I moved to Atlanta, I had this business card, right? It was a business card. And it said serial entrepreneur. It said speaker, photographer, because I used to do photography, real estate investor, and something else. But I put real estate investor on there because I knew that's what I had wanted, right? I had wanted that with my life. I wanted to own real estate. So I put that on the card. And then, I was just networking and going to meetings and stuff like that, entrepreneur meetings. And then I had gave my card to this one dude. So he says, oh, you in real estate? I was like, yeah, never bought a house, never invested, none of that. I didn't really know what I was doing. And so somebody else, he was like, oh, you in real estate? So then I was like, yeah. So me and the dude had started talking about real estate, and then we got connected. And then ever since then, I've just always, had a foot in real estate, done deals and stuff like that. So what I'm going to say is you just have to get around the energy of it, right? Like everything has energy. Literally, if you get around the people who are doing it, if you get around the environment that breeds what you want, you're going to start getting results. You're going to start getting where you want. Like, seriously. So this is also why I say everything starts with a vision, because if you don't have a vision of where you want to go, how do you expect to get where you want to be? You're not going to get there. So this is what I'm going to say. It's one more thing. If you want to invest in real estate, but you don't have the time, this is what you do. You find a real estate investor. You become a private lender, essentially. What you do is you find somebody who invests in real estate, right, that you trust, and maybe it's $10,000. You give them that $10,000 secured by maybe one of their real estate deals, and then every month you collect X amount of dollars, and then you'll get your return whenever you get your return. Let's say you have a retirement account with $100,000 in there. You can use that retirement account to be a private lender and give somebody, $40,000, and then you could get a way better return on your money in a year from real estate than what you'll ever get from a retirement account. And that's why also get your money out of them banks. A bank is not doing anything for you. I was talking to one of my mentors. He said he put $100,000 in his bank account for a whole year. He said, in that whole year, you want to know how much interest paid me? And I said, how much? Off of $100,000, he said he only made $200 in 12 months on interest from putting his money in the bank. So the banks are not your friends. They're going to tell you all this stuff, but they're not your friends at all. Like banks, they're not the devil, but I mean, shit. Like you just have to be smarter. But so many people keep their money inside of the banks. Why? Because they don't have the knowledge. They're not on YouTube, 20 hours a week trying to learn some new stuff. They're not reading all these different books. And so that's why the banks are making so much money. But if you sit here and you say, you know what? I'm going to apply myself. I'm going to, start to learn. I'm going to invest in my mind because God gave me my mind for free. Then what's going to happen is you're going to start learning stuff, and then you're going to start doing things differently than the regular average human American, whatever. And your life is going to be different. So I encourage everybody to think unconventionally, right? All right. Like I said in the beginning, you have conventional way of thinking, you have unconventional way of thinking. I encourage everybody to think unconventional, because if you do things unconventionally, then like your life is going to be so much better, because it's just crazy. He said he's the average rhyme city, only acquired $3 in 3 years. I work in finance at the banks, and I would say they are thieves. Exactly, man. Like these banks don't care about you. Like you could put your money in there. It's good for having it to to be legit. But at the end of the day, if you go put 20,000, look, if you put, that's ridiculous. $3 in 3 years. Watch this. If you put up, let's say a $10,000 down payment on a $35,000 house in the Midwest or something like that, then every month, and you're making $850 a month in rent. That's way more return on your money than what a bank or a certificate of deposit is going to do for you. I remember I did a certificate of deposit. It was like $1,000 like 5 years ago or something. But like in 6 months, I made like $150. I was pissed off. I didn't know how money worked. All right. So what would you suggest putting your funds beside the banks? Look, man, I'm going to tell you, think unconventional. Go buy a gumball machine. Go buy candy machines, and then go put them candy machines in some establishment. If you buy 5 candy machines at $200 each candy machine could make you $100, $150 a month. 150 times 4, that's $500 a month. You get what I'm saying? So what if you buy 8 or 10? Like that's $1,000 a month. 8 really, 8 at $150 a month. So like you just have to think different. Like when you go out in the world, have a producer's mentality, right? Have a producer's mentality. So, for example, think about what people consume every day and invest in that. That's all you have to do. Literally, think about what people consume, or think about what is overlooked all the time, and then go make passive income from that. At the end of the day, the only way you're going to really, really, really live your life the way you want to is if you have passive income coming in. Get as much passive income as possible from as many different sources. Like, I know this one guy, he has an online, what is it? He has like a sex calls online thing or whatever. So what's crazy is he said he charges $2 a minute, and people call this number, and it's like online sex, right? Like the ladies that work at the thing, they'll talk like sexual to the people who call. $2 a minute. He's saying like he's making like a ridiculous amount of money a day off of that. And it's only like, what, after hours. So it opens up at like 11 or midnight and it goes till whenever. And like, I don't know how he got that, but that's crazy. But that's just another stream of income. So you have to just think different, and you have to just like not be scared to put your money up. Yeah, it's crazy. You can't be scared to put your money up, and you have to know that at the end of the day, the only way that you're going to make the amount that you want to make is if you use your mind and you trust your mind to make those moves. Like, society has made people scared, right? Society has like conditioned people to think that they're stupid. Like, you're not stupid, right? And that's what they make people think. And that's what's sad about everything. But if you read a couple books on passive income, you watch a few YouTube videos about passive income, you can start getting a feel from where you want to go with everything. If you have $5,000 in your bank account and it's saved, like you could, that's a lot of money to start like something. You just have to think about what it is. And I'm not even talking about online. Like, I'm talking about the stuff you walk by every single day. I would say go buy stocks, but I'm not a stock guy, right? So in the future, yeah, like I'm gonna get stocks, but right now I like things that you could see and you could touch, because that's kind of the person I am. That's how I am. But you just have to look at things that people are overlooking every day. I know this one guy, he told me, he said, stop walking over the dollars to get to the dimes, right? And what that means is quit walking over the great opportunities just to make a little bit of money. Like, stop doing that. What you have to do is just like sit back and just look at all the opportunities. There's literally so many opportunities. Watch this. I know somebody else, and he has Uber cars. So what he does is, do you do banner signs, yellow letters? Banner signs are great, but I don't know if they really work anymore. But yellow letters and postcards, yeah. Right info, good months. Yeah, so many opportunities. So watch this. So what he does is, this other guy, he has Uber. Well, he gets people Uber cars, right? So there's people who drive for Uber, but Uber will get you a car, but they'll finance that car, right? So watch this. This is what he does. Uber will charge you like $700, $750 a month, and everything else you make, that's profit. So what he does is he just undercut them. He said he finds people who wants to be an Uber driver, right? Finds people who wants to be an Uber driver, and then what he does is he buys a car, a good car. He puts a tracking system on it and everything, and then he charges them $500 a month. And Uber charges $750 a month. So he drops the price a couple $100 a month, but every month he's making $500 a month. He has 27 of those. What's 27 times 500? I don't even know. But look, even if you got 5, what's 5 times 500? 2,500. That's ridiculous, right? So 10, so that's 10. That's like 18,000 a month off of Uber cars. And he's not even driving Uber. He's giving people the opportunity to be an Uber driver with a nice car so they could take care of their family. And he's just charging a little bit less than what Uber's charging. So like, yo, maybe you could find a service that somebody has, like a a big corporation, or like a solid establishment, and just undercut them. Do the same exact thing, or provide a service that alleviates their pain, and then just undercut them. That's it. Like, there are so many opportunities out here. This is why I preach entrepreneurship. Because the opportunities are ridiculous. The opportunities are insane. When you want to look at the world like, yo, you cannot, if you have $100,000 sitting in your bank account, you wrong. But the only reason you haven't invested that $100,000 is because you don't know what to do with it. Seriously. And your retirement account and shit, 401k and shit. I read a book about 401k is a scam. Like, pensions are dead. pensions are going away. They're done. So, and it's because people are now getting paid off of performance, and they're not getting paid off of, just being at a company anymore. Like, times are changing, and they're changing very, very, very fast. If you work 40 hours a week and put out banner signs and you get calls to see their home for sale, how do I set up a time without them realizing that I'm new, that I don't have real time to see the house during the day? At the end of the day, this is what you do. You find somebody. You have to leverage. You have to leverage people's time and people's money. So if you putting out the banner signs and you getting the calls, then you need to have somebody else go look at the house for you. Close a couple deals, get your bread up, and then you could quit or you could do whatever. Have somebody else have a calling service, answer the calls for you, and get it sent to your email. So that way, you can just see an email of the people who want appointments, and then you could follow up with them on your time, right? I believe 401k and Roth IRAs are scams. What book did you read? I forgot the name of the book, but this lady told me about it. I read it like 4 years ago. This lady told me about it at this seminar that I was at, this Rich Dad seminar, and I was like, dang. But I was like younger, so I wasn't really like super into reading. So I just kind of like skimmed over it, and then I got the basis of the book, and I kept it pushing. But like, I just want to encourage everybody, like, yo, you don't have to do hard labor. You don't have to work hard. You don't have to. Everybody thinks you have to work hard. I have to provide for my family. Like, yo, there's people providing for their family making $100,000 a month, and they're not like doing anything hard. But the main thing is they invested in their mind. That's it. They read books. They went to seminars. They got around the right people. They asked the right questions. And after that, they started making action, taking action and making moves. And so, like, yo, man, I just really wanted to tell you guys, like, yo, real estate, ownership, entrepreneurship, that's it. That's it. Pensions are going away. They're dead. Pensions are dead. And then when you trust all these people with your money, it's like they don't even be knowing what they doing with it. So why are you even allowing these people to do certain things with your money? You don't even know what they're doing with it, but they gonna tell you some stuff and it's gonna sound good. It's gonna sound great. And that's it. Nah, like, if you know investment principles, and if you know where to put your money and how to get cash flow with the money that you put up, you don't need a 401k. You don't need Roth IRA. If you have, let's say you just had 2 10-unit apartment buildings, right? And each 10 unit was bringing you in, let's just say $4,500 in net income, each one. That's $9,000 a month. You could retire off of that. Like, people making this big deal about retirement. Look, this is how people are trying to retire. They're trying to front load their savings. So they're trying to say, I'm going to save X amount of dollars. So by the time I'm 55 or 65, I'm going to have $200,000. That's not how you do it. The way you do it is, and I'm not 55, but I'm not stupid. So the way you do it is, all you have to do is you increase your cash flow. That's it. It's not about saving all this money and then trying to like budget a fixed amount of income. No, just increase your monthly income by getting passive income. That's it. And once you do that, your life is going to change forever. Passive income or residual income is life-changing. It's how you don't have to work so hard for money, because you can only work X amount of hours for X amount of dollars. And if you're working for, let's say you're making $30 an hour, whatever, $25 an hour, whatever amount you're making an hour, the thing about it is that company is trying to figure out a way on how they could get the same production but pay you less, or find a robot to do the same thing so that they don't have to pay you. So as you're working hard, thinking that you're providing for your family, and you are providing from your family, but the owner of that company, the owner of that company is figuring out a way on how to get rid of you, on how to replace you so that their margins could be higher. I'm just telling you how it goes. I'm just the messenger. I am just the messenger. But this is real. There are companies who I have an uncle. He was working for Blue Diamond, that almond company. He was there for 18 years. 18. And he got laid off. 18 years. And he got laid off. Like, that's not cool. So they didn't care about his family. They didn't care that he had a daughter and then a son. They didn't care about that. But what they cared about is they profit. I had a friend, and his dad worked at this fish packaging company. He was there for 24 years. Laid him off too. He had to go back into the workforce. Do you know what that does to somebody? Do you know what that does, like, for somebody's family? That's devastating. You just gave this company 30 years of your life, 20 years of your life, shit, 5 years, and they lay you off? You dedicated your heart, your time, your energy trying to advance in this corporation, this company, and they lay you off because they want to make more money. That's so messed up. But that's the world we live in. We are in a capitalistic society. This is America. This is what America was built off on, was capitalism. Capitalism. And so that's why it's so important for you to fend for yourself. You have to fend for yourself. Nobody's going to do anything for you. Nobody's going to do anything for you. Nobody's going to read the books for you. Nobody's going to, buy that rental property for you. But if you get around the right people, you'll have enough relationships and you'll be able to, get a lot further in life. So, man, y'all, if you don't have any other questions, then I'm going to stop it right here. I could talk forever about this shit, because, like, this is my life. Like, entrepreneurship is what I love, and I really, really, really do like talking about this. It's so important in the world today, because, it's crazy. So depend on you. You are the CEO of your life. Absolutely. When you wake up, you look in that mirror, man, you run your life, honestly. Like, not that company you work for, but people are so brainwashed. They have to do this for their company. They don't, man. Like I'm telling you, like, wealth, ownership, real estate, like, man, what's up, big coach? What up? How you living? Yeah, man, real estate, entrepreneurship, that's how you're going to survive in the next 30, 40, 50 years. Next 1 year. Like, you could buy one house right now. You could buy a house today, and that house could be still paying you in 30 years from now, as long as you keep it in the family, as long as you keep ownership of it. Like, how powerful is that? That's super powerful, in my opinion. You could buy something right now and it could still be paying you 30 years from now. Like, the job ain't gonna do that. A job is not gonna do that. And in entrepreneurship, there are no limits. There's no cap on your income. You can make $1 million a second. You can make $1 million a year. But in a job, whatever your salary is, that's it. And then people, work so hard for. Do you know what 1% of, if your income is $35,000 a year, what's 1% of $35,000? Let's really think about that. That's $350. $350. So you are gonna work your ass off to get a 1% raise of $35,000, and 1% of $35,000 is $350. The hotel chain. I'm gonna tell you, Kanisha, this out. That was my strategy at first, But the first house I fixed and flipped, I wish that I would have held on to it. So like, the thing is, the only reason I wanted to fix and flip is to get that big check. I wanted to know what it felt like, right? I wanted to know what does it feel like to cash a big check? And I did, but when you realize that it's not about how much you keep, but it's about how much you can make every single month consistently, that's when your life is going to really, really, really change. So now I don't care about the big paydays. What I care about is residual income. That's it. Because every time, look, watch this. If I buy something right now and it starts to make me $200 a month, that's not a lot of money in the grand scheme of things. $200 times 12 months is $2,400. And I literally just gave myself a $2,400 raise a year. Did that 10 times with, like, man, it's so real. Like, that's how I feel. I'm trying to get the capital. I'm telling you, look, Kanisha, it's all about leverage, right? It's all about leverage. It's all about leverage. And then when I started flipping, I started to, it's an easier way to do this. It's an easier way to do this. And that's what I learned. That's what one of my OGs always told me. He said, Isaiah, it's an easier way to do this. My first flip, I was fixing the house in like the last 2 weeks because the contractors was, they weren't right. It was like a job. I bought myself a job. And at the end of the day, when you get into entrepreneurship, the goal is not to work, it's to not have to work. And I ended up working. So it's like I had to kind of, sit back and reanalyze everything. And so what I would just say to you is like, go get your bread however you want. But, sorry, a call came in. But go get your bread, but always keep in mind that at the end of the day, it's about cash flow. Because you could cash out right now for $40,000, but when that $40,000 is gone, it's gone. But what you could also do is you can, invest some money and make $400 a month, and that's coming every single month. And you'll look, as long as you keep that investment, that $400 a month will equal $40,000 over time. And I think as being young, the biggest thing that younger people have a challenge with is patience, right? Patience. We don't want to wait. And that hinders us. That really messes us up in the long run. Because if I was more patient, I would have more rental properties. You see what I'm saying? And so just be patient. Like long term, what's the saying goes? Delayed gratification over instant satisfaction. Go for delayed gratification, because you'll think, okay, I don't want to do this because it's going to take a year or whatever, or I'm not going to see this for 2 years. 2 years is going to fly by so fast, especially if you're under 30. Like, I'm under 32. So, we are so blessed being young. So we have to take advantage, make all the mistakes you can right now. Make all the mistakes you can. And then go hard, go hard, go hard. Learn what you need to learn. So by the time you hit 30, 35, that's still young. Young. So by the time you hit, do y'all have any more questions? Because it's probably been like an hour by now, and I didn't even mean to. But, at the end of the day, y'all, real estate, entrepreneurship, ownership is everything. Like, if you don't have any skills that you could capitalize on and make money with, like, in the next 10 years, man, you're dead. Literally, you're gonna be so scared about what's gonna go on in the world. And all the entrepreneurs who have skills, who've been invested in their mind, Something about if you have a asking for access to the MLS, but at the end of the day, like it's all about what you're gonna do, what to do with the access, and that access doesn't. You're gonna be good. Thank I'm about to log out. I'm about to go invest in my. I'm gonna read a book too, man. I'll holler at y'all.